Hello, everyone. It's ZinoNation, episode 45. Where is my Zino 2 tonight? We got special guest. Josh is on with us again. He just received. Hold on. I always forget to mute my other sound. Hold on. Sorry, my fault. I double screen. I always forget to mute the other one. But we have Josh on here tonight with the Zino 2 on set. And we got Bill, the drone reviewer, on with us tonight again. He's got an update on his Zino 2. And I've got my co-host and good friend Marcus Crawford with us as always. So it's going to be a great show tonight. I just want to throw out a few little updates, and then we're going to go around the room. I want to update everybody on Rodney Bell. He had his triple bypass surgery over the weekend. He's doing well. I chatted with him a little bit today online. He thinks he may even be coming home very soon. So I want to thank everybody for prayers for Rodney. And Chris Hope started a GoFundMe, and people have been chipping a few bucks in here and there. So I want to thank everybody for that. So, that's about it. And I want to mention that it's the last day to make your comment on the FAA proposal at the portal. So if nobody knows where the portal is, somebody drop a link in this chat here. They'll go over there if you haven't left your comment already. But on that note, let's get on to the show. We'll dig into some of those if there's any more questions. But Marcus, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, guys. Good evening. So I guess the main thing that I want to bring up first off is today is the last day that you could comment on the proposed rules with the FAA with regard to the new drone rules. So if you haven't already, please do that. I think everybody on the chat here or in our group here has done so, and it's important. Last I heard there were over 40,000 comments, and make them good, reasonable comments and speak from the heart. If you look on the website, there are a lot of people that just are putting FU and all kinds of weird stuff on there. Well, that's not going to help our cause. We need to speak eloquently about our passion for drones and about why we think those regulations shouldn't go into effect. So that said, just like everybody, but all of us in here, but Josh, we're all waiting for our Zino 2. Zino 2. I just checked, and mine is same status. So it says shipped, but it's said that for quite a while. But then Ryan Duvall sold me his Eachine EX4. So I want to get that thing out and fly it a little bit. I haven't done much with it yet, but I will tell you, just looking at it, it's a far more substantial drone than I thought it would be. I expected it to be a little bit more tardigrade. It is not. It feels very substantial. So looking forward to getting that thing up in the air. Just did a comparison test with the Mavic Mini and the original Hubsan Zino. It was kind of interesting. Got to compare those two as entry-level stabilized video drones, and so getting some good comments on that. Gosh, I guess that's about it. Josh, what's going on?
So it's no secret that I did receive my Zino 2, and I am very happy about that. I know you guys are all probably putting push pins in my voodoo doll you got going on right now. But it's great. I actually had a chance to fly it yesterday too. I know that in my first video on it, I didn't post any flight videos, but it was very cold. I filmed that on Saturday, and it was very cold here, and I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling taken out in the cold. So, but I flew it yesterday. It's rock stable. I enjoyed that. I was very impressed for what it was. But we'll get into more of that later. But I am very happy about that. I did want to give everybody a quick update on my Power Egg X, if that's okay, Ron.
Yeah, thank you. I know a lot of us are, knew you had some issues with it, and we wondered what was going on. So appreciate this update.
Yeah, so basically, I ended up being able to fly it twice with what I thought was, no problems. I went to go and try to use it to finish up some videos that I've been working on for it. And unfortunately, I had no FPV at all, period. I tried everything that I knew. Granted, I'm not the smartest, apple in the bunch by any means, but I tried everything that I possibly could. I tried to, research it a little bit to see if anybody else had this issue. But I still had full control. Everything said connected. I could control the gimbal, no problem, from the transmitter, but I had no FPV. It was just straight black. That was it. So as a last resort, I ended up emailing their support. And they do have support here in the United States. I guess it's in El Paso, Texas, because today they actually sent me a shipping label to ship it back to them. And then as soon as they get it, they're going to be shipping me a new one. So they deemed it, after I did a couple things with them, sent them some screenshots, things like that. They deemed it defective. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if something came loose inside. I have no idea. But I think it's great that they were very responsive. They responded very quickly. It took a little less than a day for them to respond initially. And now, after this past week of kind of going back and forth a little bit with some different things to try, they sent me a shipping label to ship it back to them. So it's going to be going back tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have a new one that's working again, and I can finish up this video and get it out.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that return.
I appreciate it.
In this case, you're not only reviewing the Power X drone, but you're also reviewing their customer support staff or team.
Mm-hmm.
That'll even add more to the review.
Oh, it sure would. And after that initial problem, I thought, okay, you know what? I have some video, I have footage, I have my unboxings, which I enjoy. I enjoy unboxings. I know some people don't, but I absolutely enjoy it. And I thought, you know what? I have enough stuff. I could make a decent video. I said, but you know what? I'm going to wait, because so far the customer service has been very good. And I just want to kind of see how quickly as well I get that replacement. I want to see if, as soon as they see that FedEx label that they sent me in terms of tracking start moving, if they're going to start shipping my new one out, or if they're going to wait until they receive it first.
Yeah.
As well.
That's all. You never know. Like, use the DJI works. If you send a drone in for them to repair, they just send you out the next refurb unit that's sitting on the shelf. You don't actually get yours back. But with a smaller company like Power Egg, they probably don't work like that. You probably are going to get your drone back. But I mean, I'm just guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, the gentleman in the email said it would be a replacement. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're going to repair it. I don't know if they're going to just ship me out a brand new one. That part I don't know yet. All I want is one that works.
Yeah, right. I saw Billy Kyle's video on his, that he kind of had not the exact situation, but his original Power Egg was defective, and he had to send it back, and they got him another one.
Yeah, they seem to, again, be very responsive and very helpful too. They didn't really kind of put me through the runaround on different things. And again, it supposedly is U.S. support. And the English in terms of typing was perfect, and so forth. It was spot on. So
very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got a million questions probably to ask you about your unboxing and the Zino 2, but I want to get to Bill, the drone review, for a second. I want Bill to update us. Where's your Zino 2 is our question tonight. Now, Bill, on a recent episode, told us that he followed your advice, Josh, and he ordered direct from Hubsan. He ordered from the makers themselves, and instead of Gearbest. But Bill's got an update on that order, I believe. Bill, what's the latest on your?
Well, mine's not sitting on a boat somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean like Ron's and Marcus's is. Mine still probably is sitting in parts bins and hasn't been made. They told me from Hubsan, and I got to say this. For all we fault Hubsan for, one thing, they've been very prompt in returning emails to me, so I really appreciate that. They got back to me and said that due to they had a labor shortage due to the coronavirus, and they ran out of stock, and they anticipate being able to get my Zino 2 either shipped or to me by March 28th. So that was some encouraging news to get from them today. And again, I got to say, I got to hand it to them. They're, like a lot of Chinese companies, they're under a lot of pressure to get things out, and workers are slowly coming back, and there's some semblance of normalcy returning to China right now. So, it's good. It's good that health is a number one priority, which is, of course, is important. And it's good to see that they're working again. I'm so glad I made the decision to cancel with Gearbest. I've heard some things now that it's not. You can't even find it on Gearbest website. They're not even taking orders on it anymore. So, all in all, it was a very wise decision.
So, well, I'm glad you're getting good communication with Hubsan. I mean, I'm sorry you have to wait extra long, but at least now you got some kind of you're getting answers to your questions. Like with Gearbest, you would still have no idea what's coming. Like Marcus and I, we still stuck with a shipping update that shows a label's been printed in California, and that's where we stand. But I want to move on. I want to keep moving fast here, Bill. I want to get your comment on something. Drone DJ was reporting today. Inside this report, I went and did my research at the website. DJI lowered the price of the Mavic 2 Pro and the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 to only $15.99 today. And I want you to comment, Bill, because I believe you're the only one on the show here that has both those drones.
Well, I got to say this, okay? We talked about we spent some time talking about the Mavic 2 last week, and I had first used the word resurgence, and then Marcus ever so greatly pointed out it's not needed a resurgence because it's always been strong, and he's been right. That was true. One of the best drones out there, and they're knocking money off of it. Don't wait for a Mavic 3. Go ahead and get the Mavic 2. And as far as the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0, I got to tell you this. The OcuSync 2.0 on that is golden, okay? The controller works flawlessly. The range is exceptional on it. The one thing that people will always complain about with that is the props and the shots, okay? And there are so many ways of ensuring the props aren't in the shots, okay? You can do the old fly backwards trick. You can also set it to tripod mode where you're going about 4 or 5 miles an hour. Or if you're a good enough pilot, I found a sweet spot. It's about 13 or 14 miles an hour with about a 5 mile an hour wind. You'll be fine. And you can also adjust the gimbal angle on it. And you have probably one of the best cameras out there. All right. Bar none. It's just exceptional. The only thing that I have to say is, and I think Ron will probably agree with me on this, is the low light capabilities of the Mavic 2 Pro I don't think can be beat on the market today. I don't think anybody can touch that.
Yeah, from what I've seen now, I haven't. I don't actually own the Phantom 4 Pro V2. I can't spit that out or whatever. But you have obviously you them both, and you've seen the low light killer both. So I'm going to yield to your here. Now, but let me ask you we'll talk more about this on your show tomorrow night. So I don't want to go on. It's a good conversation for tomorrow night. But at that price of $15.99 for the Phantom 4 V2.0, is that a buy at price?
Oh, that's a buy because it's gone down to what originally was before they stopped selling it. So
before the tariffs.
Yeah, before the tariffs. I said, don't hesitate. Get your PayPal account out, and like as Marcus says, hit that buy button for that. That's a steal. That really is.
Well, thank you for those opinions, and we'll probably talk more about this on Bill's show tomorrow night. And everybody can give an opinion, or if you don't have an opinion, you don't have to say anything. But I'm sure everybody was aware they had a Save Our Hobby protest at the FAA headquarters in D.C. this past weekend. It was a peaceful protest. It was very, handled very well, and hopefully it did some good for us. Did anybody follow this, or does anybody have a comment on it? I know Ken Herron was there. Marcus, do you have anything to?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the video as well, Ron, and I was glad to see that we were represented there. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much good those kind of things do. It does, does show that there's people that care. So So that can't be a bad thing. So hopefully, just hopefully at the end of the day, we can not have to deal with this remote ID, particularly the part where it shows where you are as a pilot. I posted a story that originally Bill Thomas broke on Coast to Coast Drones with regard to a gentleman in Las Vegas that got held up at gunpoint. They stole his Skydio 2. And he was, by the way, I should add to that, he was in a public park at 2:00 in the afternoon. So it's not like it was, in the middle of the night or some stupid thing.
In a back alley or anything.
Yeah. They beat the crap out of him, took his drone, and he had one of those electric unicycle things. They took that too. But with the new rules where anybody can look up in the sky, they see a drone, well, let's go see where the pilot is. You just know that it will spawn a whole industry from some of those thugs, looking for a way to steal some valuable merchandise. So let's hope that those rules don't come to be.
Yeah, I would. First of all, I did go ahead and get my comment in to the FAA this weekend. I want to thank Marcus for being some inspiration for that. It really got me, and it got me fired up. And, my big emphasis and my point was the whole privacy concern. All right. Again, and I did see that video that you suggested, Marcus, and thanks for Bill for pointing that out. I watched that. I just felt so bad for that poor guy. And this is even without remote ID. I mean, this was just some kids saw him and they took advantage of the situation, and the poor guy just, it was a horrible experience. But imagine multiplying that, with the privacy concerns. That's ridiculous. Okay. And I stated my comment in such a way to say, this information should only be provided to law enforcement in case it's necessary. Okay. Because if I'm flying, let's say like Marcus did in his wonderful Class G airspace. All right. You know what? I can do pretty much whatever I want. All right. Because it's a free game out there. All right. Now, if I'm not flying in Class G, it's a whole different story. And, let's say I'm flying a product that doesn't have geofencing and I go within that perimeter of the airport or something like that. Well, that's when that kind of information needs to get to law enforcement. All right. Or if a temporary flight restriction, if a TFR is in place and you're flying in that area, that's when it needs to get to law enforcement. Okay. Otherwise, no. All right. It's only on a need to know basis. And the other part of this was, as Marcus pointed out in his, and I made the same point. Okay. This cost should not be borne by all the hobbyists. All right. It should be borne by companies that want to commercialize, like UPS and Amazon and so forth. And the last point that I made was, this is also infringing upon, the Model Plane Association and AMA. I forget the acronym for it. They're a great organization, a great group of people. And what they've done is, number one, they've created animosity between drone pilots and RC model pilots, which is ridiculous. And number two, let the AMA use their fields and enjoy their hobby over there, and let us enjoy our hobby as well. Again, I think Marcus probably put it well. This was written by somebody with business knowledge, not with anybody with RC plane knowledge or have anything to do with drones. Okay. This was written by some pencil pusher sitting behind a desk somewhere. He came up with all this. And the last thing that I'll say about it was this. I also put in there, this technology has only been on paper. There's never been a prototype or a mock-up even done of any of this. So, it just needs to be, hit the delete button on this, and let's start over and let's get something that's going to be acceptable to everybody.
Hey, Bill, can I pile on to your statement?
You sure can.
So when you talk about who wrote that, it was probably some guy that works for UPS or FedEx or whatever. And
they're called lobbyists, Marcus.
Lobbyists, exactly right. that aside, you also know that there has to be huge interests in those companies. I can't remember what they call them, USS or whatever, the ones that you have to get a subscription to, that you upload all your drone information to and have to connect to and pay a monthly fee to. You
Like
know
Kitty
that
Hawk.
is going to be a huge business, because if you want to fly a drone, you're going to have to subscribe. And what we don't know yet, even if it's, let's say it's $10 a month. Okay, $10 a month, hey. But is that for each drone? If you've got 4 drones, well then, that starts adding up and definitely suppresses the hobby. And sometimes I wonder if that isn't the intent.
It could be. Josh, I mean, before we move on, do you have a comment? I want you to get your opinion in too.
So I mean, so I made my comment this weekend, as Bill did. I thought about it for a long time, and I waited the last minute, like I do for just about everything. But I wanted to make sure that I had all my facts straight, and I had something different that I could maybe propose. And I'm for it, except for the fact again that you shouldn't be able to know where the pilot is, at least the general public. When it comes to law enforcement, absolutely, there needs to be a need for that, because so many people are flying where they shouldn't be flying. There was just an article that I read where I guess they now put up a no drones sign, at least by the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And I guess there's too many crashes or something like that. I actually forget, but the article is out there. So now you can't fly around there. But there does need to be some law enforcement in terms of where people are flying, what they're flying, what they're looking at, what they're flying over, and things like that. So I mean, they absolutely need to have something, but what they proposed is just ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, absurd. Again, like you guys all said, this was obviously written by somebody who has probably never flown a drone in their life for any reason, or flew anything. The only thing that they probably ever did was, fly in a private jet. I mean,
yeah, true.
Yeah, and they just have no idea what it's really like, and how much it's really going to hurt, not just not just our hobby, but I mean it's going to hurt a lot of other things too. And if this were to pass and go into full effect, who's to say that other that's what I'm looking for, other companies, other hobbies, things like that aren't going to start saying, oh, well, you know what, that passed, that went through. Why can't we do this, or why can't we do this or that? And then it could hurt other hobbies too, or just a ton of other people. I mean, one law, if one law passes and goes through and it's good, that sets a precedent.
Good point. Listen, I know we could probably do the rest of the show talking about this, but I think we've got our point across pretty good. That get your comments in, make them a well thought out comment, like a lot of the ones that were stated tonight. Now, let's move on to what everybody's here tonight. Josh just this weekend posted one of the best unboxing and first looks at the Zino 2 I've seen yet. He went through every detail of the drone, what it came with, its build quality. He compared it favorably with the FIMI X8, and he just went through everything. And then he even did the update that everybody fears out of the box. I've seen a lot of people talk about the update and maybe show part of it, but he showed the whole update process all the way through, even crossing his fingers that it wouldn't rob his FPV, because we're going to get into that in a second here. A lot of people have done the same update Josh did and now no longer have FPV on their drones. So maybe Josh has a little overview he wants to give, and then after that, we'll open up the questions from the people on the panel, and I'll highlight and ask questions from the chat too. They can get their question, because a lot of people, I've already seen some comments. People don't think the Zino 2 is good, and it may have been issues. And Josh has flown at once, he said. And I know that's one time isn't enough to give a very informed opinion, but I mean, at least he'll have some basis or whatever. So, Josh, if you want to give a little overview, and then we'll move to a Q&A session.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be honest, based on a lot of other experiences that I saw, I was pretty afraid to do the update nonetheless, but I wanted to do it all on video. I wanted to capture everything as it happened. In terms of the unboxing, yeah, I looked at everything first. I opened it up, ahead of time. So it wasn't really the first time that I actually saw it, but when you guys saw me do that update on that video, for those that watched it, that was obviously the very first time that I ever saw the update process. I ever saw the what it did, and that was right after an Android app update. So I don't know what it was like before that. And I found it really interesting because it first, as you saw, prompted me to update the transmitter, which I did. And then after it connected, I restarted the transmitter and everything. It didn't actually force me to update the aircraft firmware. I had to go into the settings and actually, do it myself and do it manually, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I don't know if that's something new or what. But the one thing I will say, and this is in regards to the transmitter, I thought I charged that a lot. I thought I charged it enough. I charged it a little bit ahead of time, but it turns out I was kind of cutting it close there at the end, and I was really afraid. I thought, oh my gosh, this has been such a smooth process. I mean, in that video, I know it was a little bit longer. I mean, I'm known to do 30-minute videos, but I wanted to show the whole process. I didn't speed it up. I didn't cut it. I made cuts elsewhere to cut other things out, but that whole update process was uncut completely. So that's exactly how long it took me to update it. And I thought that was pretty quick, because I saw some other people that had their updates that kind of hung out for a while, that, would stop at either 50% or 99% or something like that, and then wait for a while, and then it would work. But I didn't have that issue. And I thought it was really cool. Down at the bottom, I called it, at first I made a mistake and called it time, but it's in terms of how much data that it's writing. It shows it to you at the bottom of the app, very small, and it tells you how much data it's written, and you'll see that. Now I don't know if that's a new feature. I don't know if that's something that they just added in from the app, or if that's something that's always been there. But that counter was always going up, even when it's stuck on maybe what, I don't know. I don't remember when it stuck. Mine hung up for maybe like a couple seconds, but I saw that counter still going up, so I knew something was still happening. It's just that the percentage kind of stopped temporarily. So I knew something was always happening. I think that's pretty cool that it actually showed you what it was doing. It was starting. It showed you when you started to send, like when it started to send restart commands to turn off and or restart the quadcopter. It showed all that, so you knew it was doing something. Which again, I thought was pretty neat, because you don't see that on any other drone or anything really, for that matter, at least that I've ever had, cameras, updates, anything. You don't see what it's doing, and on the app you could see what it was doing.
Yeah, that is something.
Yeah. So overall, the update process went very smooth for me. It was a little bit of a nail biter because of me being stupid and just not charging the transmitter enough. But as I found out when I flew it on Sunday, because I filmed the video on Saturday, and then actually flew it a very short flight on Sunday. So Ron, as you mentioned, it's only one flight, and it was very quick too. So I didn't really have too much time. So I really don't know a lot about it, but I can say that it is stable. It stood there, like the Femi did, or even the Mavic Mini did. It sat there with no problems. It wasn't drifting up and down or wandering around. Even when you did some yaw, it didn't move up and down. It was stable. It held its position very nicely. But the transmitter battery dies pretty quick. I think that's probably my biggest thing with it so far is the transmitter battery does go a little on the quicker side. I think.
Huh.
Short flight, it went down pretty quickly. So,
can you have time for a quick question, Stevie?
Yeah,
Stevie
absolutely.
He asked a while back. He said, is there any type of precision landing with the Zino 2?
So I'll be 100% honest. I don't know. I can't answer that. And I apologize, Stephen. I don't know that. And that's only because I haven't tried it myself. I didn't really look. Again, my first flight was on Sunday. It was very, very quick. So I apologize that I can't answer that question, but I'll get an answer for you. I'll definitely test that out the next time that I fly this, which will be actually at the abandoned golf course.
Another real quick one. This really isn't a question to you per se, Josh, because you know. But somebody's heard a rumor that the Anafi filters fit the Zino 2. Has anybody else heard that?
So I mean, it was a QC guy that actually did that, and he was able to. I don't know if he had to modify them or not, but they worked. And apparently he got some really good results out of it.
Well,
so I can't say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Josh. I think he said it was the FEMI X8 filters that he used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he said, because I was kind of confused about hearing Anafi filters, but I think he said FEMI X8.
Gotcha.
Do you guys have any questions for Josh so far, Marcus or Bill?
Hey, so well, I was going to mention that Blue Skyver had a comment up there earlier that he was talking about, and he made a video recently that's really good. You need to watch it with regard to the fragility of the connection inside the controller on the Zino 2, or at least the one that he has. And, so it could be other controllers. And what he suggests is that you buy a dongle with a micro USB on one side, regular USB on the other. Leave it plugged in. Don't ever unplug it. Just leave it like that. And then he's got another cable with a female USB, and then he uses Apple, so he's got a Lightning cable on there. That way, you're not pulling that thing in and out every time you charge it. When it's time to charge it, you just plug it in. He actually had to take his to a place and have it resoldered. Watch his video; it's really good. And by the way, just as a preemptive thing, I've already ordered those cables, so I'll have it when my Zino 2 shows up.
And maybe Marcus go throw that link in the chat here if anybody else wants to order them also. And they should, and maybe they can even use Marcus' affiliate link to throw a few to buy Marcus a coffee. Chad says it was the Anafi filters.
Okay.
So that's good to know. I have a set of Anafi filters, so that's good to know. And I believe Chad, while we brought Chad B up, I believe he's one of the people that had an issue with his the firmware update. Do you remember the numbers on the firmware update, Josh?
1.1.1.8 is what I'm on.
Yeah, I believe they ruined his FPV transmission, I believe. I don't know if he's got it fixed.
I did see his video as well. His was definitely one of the videos that kind of scared me, because I thought, oh my gosh, what is this going to happen to my unit too? But it didn't. And I feel, and I don't know this for sure, I can't guarantee anything at all, but I almost want to say it's a kind of a unit by unit type of deal. I don't know if it's an actual problem. I'm hoping it's just a problem in the firmware somehow. But then again, if they're all built the same, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions in my opinion, but
yeah,
I think there are a lot of, for some reason, I think there are some differences in some of these models, but I mean, these are all still fairly new, so I don't think they would have had enough time to change some different hardware aspects inside and just not say anything. But I mean, we know that Hubsan does that. Even with the original Zino, they changed certain things. They changed the camera, for example, was the first thing, the overall design in the camera. And I think they might have changed a couple other things too. I'm not 100% sure, but and still released it as the same exact thing and just didn't tell anybody or say anything. But I feel like this is too new for them to do that. But I wouldn't put it past them.
Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was going to say I got a question for
Go ahead,
Josh.
Bill.
How was it when? Because I know with the original Zino, it had what Ron and Marcus have, and a lot of people coined the Hubsan drop. With the optical flow sensor, how was that when you took off?
None. For me, it was non-existent. It took off and stopped.
Okay, good.
It didn't drop at all, at least for me. I had no problems with it. And again, that's something that I was just really impressed with. I think they did a great job with that. For me, it was very stable. The transmitter's nice. The controls are nice. I don't have a big backyard, and that's where I flew it for the first time. So I didn't really, take it out far or anything like that. I did take it up high. I did take it up to the limit, just shortly under 400 feet, but I didn't fly very far away. And the controls are really nice. It responded very nice, and it's quick. It's real quick. And again, like I said, I don't have a big backyard, so I was a little afraid to be honest with you, because I didn't have the open space to be able to really let it rip. But it's quick.
Hey, Josh,
It's nice.
I know it's only one flight, so I'm putting in your spot here. So, but just on that one flight, how would you compare it to the FEMI X8 as far as how it flies?
That's a very good question. Again, like you mentioned, it is only one flight. But from first initial impressions, I would say that it's relatively similar, at least in my opinion. I know the FEMI X8 SE is very quick as well. And this feels to me, in terms of weight, a lot like it as well. And just the overall design of it in terms of build quality feels a lot like the FEMI as well. So after one flight, I'd say that it's pretty similar in my opinion, but that could obviously change.
Would I be wrong to assume that it compares closer to the FEMI X8 than it does the original Zino 1 as far as weight and flight capabilities and so on?
Absolutely. Yeah. In my personal opinion, I think so. Maybe someone else might think a little differently. I don't know, but in my opinion, yes. Yeah, it's definitely different than the original Zino. To me, it feels a little heavier. It just feels better in the hand. I have more confidence with this. Not that I didn't really have confidence in the original Zino, but I knew that if I wanted it to just sit there, it would sit there, and I could turn my back on it for a couple seconds and be okay, and not think that it's wandering down or wandering up or wherever. I didn't have to always keep my guard up with it.
So the downward sensors were really locked in for you.
Oh, it sure does. Yeah, that optical flow sensor is huge, absolutely huge for this. And I know a lot of people have been wanting that on a Zino, and now we finally got it.
Yeah.
I know you said you had a quick flight, Josh. Any gauge as to how much battery you used? How much? I know you said the transmitter battery. It seems to go pretty fast. But how was the battery on the Zino 2? Did that? How long were you up? And what did you use?
So I flew for 20 minutes. It was a little over 20 minutes. Just a little over 20 minutes for that flight. I could have flown longer. I still had battery life left. I think I had, 20 or 30% left, something like that. Again, I forget exactly. I'll have to double check back. I have the screen recording, so I'll be able to really double check that for the next video. But yeah, no, I would definitely assume that you could easily get anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes of flight time.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a tough question on the board here from one of our favorites, Stephen Ewing from over there in Ireland. He says, big question, Josh. Mavic Mini or Zino 2, now that you have tried it? I know I'm putting the pressure on you.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're on the hot seat, Josh.
Oh man, that's difficult. That's a really good question. Wow. So
we understand this is based on one flight, so
that's tough.
We understand.
Right. Look, you guys know I love my Zinos. I absolutely love my Zinos with a passion.
I know where you're going. We know where you're going.
Love them. And I would never. I would never say anything bad unless it was true. About the Hubsan Zino or the Zino 2 or anything like that, Zino Pro. But if you, for the money, I'm gonna probably have to say the Mavic Mini. If you, it's $399. It's a very decent quadcopter for sure. It's great. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, you can take it places. It's a lot smaller. There it is, Bill. A lot smaller, a lot lighter, easier to travel with. I think it really boils down to who or what you're doing with it. Are you flying? Are you traveling a lot with it? Are you trying to do really good, photography? Do you need 4K? If you don't, then the Mavic Mini is the way to go. It really is. It's stable as well. It's a lot easier to travel with, at least in my opinion. The only thing is it can't really handle a lot of wind too well. So if you plan on flying in a lot of wind, or you don't know what conditions are going to bring, then maybe you should go with the Zino 2. I mean, it does have the 4K, 4K 60, and it's roughly around the same price. I mean, it depends on, I'm sure later on you're going to probably be able to get this for $399 and less. I'm sure probably pretty soon, but it seems like the hype has been up for it recently, so it might not drop for a little while.
I got to chime in here. I agree 100% with Josh. I was able to take this guy when we went up to Ohio in November, and I took it up there. Now, coming from down here, it's windier, but when you get up north, it's like it was a roll of the dice. I didn't know what it was going to be like. It was cold, but it wasn't terribly windy, and the Mini held its own up there. And like Josh said, a great point is, the compact and portability of this, you can't beat it. And for what you're getting for it, for $399, it is a tremendous drone. I mean, look at some of the videos that Marcus and Ron and I and Josh have put out with this drone. It's a very capable drone. It doesn't have 4K, but you know what? You don't need 4K.
Can I add to that a little bit, Bill?
Go for it.
Well, so one of the things that I noticed when I was looking at that footage that I did with the original Zino and with the Mavic Mini, I'm gonna tell you that don't set that Zino aside, because that resolution does make a difference in my opinion. When I was looking at those videos side by side, and of course I got this big 32-inch monitor now, that probably makes a difference. But you could tell a difference in the resolution. Now, that was weird. There were some things about the Mini video that was much better. It was much sharper, good clarity, but the resolution did make a difference on the Zino, and I thought it looked pretty good as well. The other thing is the Mini, it definitely, just if you leave the EV in automatic, it blows out the video a little bit. I don't think anybody can argue about that. You need to turn the exposure value down a little bit on it. So I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying that it's more of a match than what you might think.
Mm-hmm. And I just saw a comment in the chat in terms of the Horizon. I can say from only one flight from yesterday. That's it. But I had no Horizon issues. I just wanted to point that out. That I did not have any Horizon issues at all. So again, I think whatever they did to try to fix that, I think they did a pretty good job. But that could also be too because I just didn't fly it around enough. I didn't do anything crazy. I wasn't, I didn't have a big area to fly in. So that could also be it too. So
good to hear they got the Horizon issue taken care of so quickly, since that still plagues the FEMI X8 a little bit, I believe. Hey, we got another comment from Stephen Ewing. Stephen Ewing, great comments tonight, by the way. We need to get you in the show. He says, I'll take my Anafi over the Mini, but my Mavic 2 still sits on top of the throne, so nothing else can compare. Just like to see some competition for DJI. So, that's a good comment. The Anafi video is it's an incredible video drone.
So the other point that we've made it before, Ron, is the fact that you can buy a refurb of that Anafi now for $420. I mean, that's just a steal.
And guess what, Marcus? If you're one of these people who say, I don't want refurb drones, Amazon's currently selling the Anafi brand new for $499.
Yeah, I mean, that's just an amazing buy. And if you think about what that drone does and the quality of the video, plus it's a feature-rich drone. There are tons of features on that thing. That's got to be on everybody's radar if they're looking for a round mid-range $500 or so drone. That's a good pick.
It sure is. Josh, I know this is an unfair comparison because of price, and well, you've only flown that one a couple of times. If you could only keep one drone now, the Power 8X or the Zino 2 Pro, which one? If you could only keep one, which one would it be?
Man, Josh, you're on the sizzling seat tonight.
Oh yeah, you're in the hot seat tonight.
Well, hang on.
Wow.
As of right now, Ron, as of right this second, that's a very easy question to answer because right now my Power 8X is going to be going back to Power Vision, so I'd keep the Zino 2. But when it comes back, again, that's really tough. That's really difficult to say. Both really, high quality cameras. I love that you can, not that I really fly in the rain too much. I really only did it for testing purposes. Because I'm more of a fair weather flyer, which is why I didn't fly on this past Saturday here in Pittsburgh because it was freezing. But man, that's just so hard to say. That I love the fact that you can with the Power 8X that you do have that option to be able to fly in the rain if you truly really wanted to. It does have the pontoons or floats, again, whatever you want to call them. But I mean, you could really kind of manipulate your own, I'm sure, too, for the Zino 2. I mean, not the waterproof case by any means, but I mean, you can really kind of manipulate your own floats or whatever, again, pontoons, whatever you want to call them, for any specific quad if you really wanted to. It just takes a little elbow grease, in my opinion, maybe some pole noodles or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really tested that out, but it just all depends, I guess.
Well,
again, those are tough questions tonight, guys.
Well, good answer to a tough question. But what's more of a general question? We hear a lot of people say, well, the Zino 2 is not worth it based on videos they've seen so far, like horizon issues and the dreaded sun flare issue and the update issue. And your limited time with it, would you say it's worth the price?
So, for me, as of right now, I would say yes. And that's mainly with their version of the Fly More kit, because you do get that extra battery, you do get, the case, you do get that extra set of props, and all for like about $50 extra. If you buy it at their retail price. I know Bill has the Mini, which is cheaper at this point. But for everybody that did get it at Gearbest and to everybody that did order it from there, I really hope that those units arrive and they don't cancel or whatever the case is, because at $399 it's a steal.
What's going on with your original Gearbest order, Josh?
Deal. So that has not been canceled yet. I read a post from somebody on Facebook in one of the groups that they got a notification from Gearbest that their order has been canceled, and if you look on Gearbest, it's gone. I mean, you can't find it anymore. You can find the battery, but that's it. But my order has not been canceled yet. I still have packed status on it, so I don't know what that means. To be perfectly honest with you, if it doesn't start shipping within probably, I'll give it a month and a half even, then I might just end up canceling it. It'd be nice to have two, but what are you gonna do?
Hey, Josh. So I'm curious. It just says packed. It does not say shipped.
Correct.
Huh,
correct.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Marcus and I both had one day, basically 24 hours of packed, and then it moved to ship. Listen, I'm going to get the subjects just for a second, then we'll jump right back on. I see Lauren's in here with us tonight, and I want to shout out that in Drone DJ today article, they posted out Lauren's new group. What's his Facebook group called, Bill?
Gosh.
Drones for good.
Drones for Good.
Drones for good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Drones for
It
good.
was highlighted in the Drone DJ article today is one of the 4 main articles. So I just want to shout Lauren out for getting a mention there from on Drone DJ. So if anybody hasn't seen that, yeah, go over, pop over, and read the article, whatever. So back to our regular scheduled programming now. You were saying, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual value of this thing, I think it's a steal at $399. At $499 if you just buy the base. Seriously, if you're going to pay $499 for it, you might as well spend the extra $50, get the extra battery, and also get the extra set of props and the case. The case isn't bad at all. Everything fits in there really nicely. There's a little bit of extra room in there too. It feels well made. It's not a hard case, by any means, but
right.
So don't go throwing something on top of it. But I think they did a really good job.
Josh, I want to ask you a key question. When you order from Gearbest, did you order the Flyboard kit from Gearbest or just the single kit?
Just the base, just the single.
Well,
yeah.
And I think the three of us have come up with our master theory here. Our that it seemed like everybody that got their Gearbest order were the people that ordered kind of the Flymore kit that got extra batteries and cases or whatever, and the people that only ordered the drone with no extras are the ones sitting here without it. Again, that's unscientific, but just everybody I know that has their Gearbest order got the deluxe kit, and us three dummies here ordered the base kit, and we're still sitting here empty-handed. So you were but then that blows my theory that you ordered the Flymore kit from Gearbest and you don't have it. So you kind of blow a hole in my theory, my theory.
No, I ordered just the base from Gearbest.
Okay,
Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, just the base.
So I probably heard wrong. So you enhance our theory then. Okay.
Hey,
well, I took Josh's advice when I ordered mine from Hubsan, and I paid $50 more, and I got the extra battery in the case, and props, which was a totally smart deal. That was heads up on that, Josh. Thank you.
Hey, so Ron, Daniel Taramina, he just had the base kit from Gearbest, and he got his already.
Oh,
okay. So he blows my theory, conspiracy theory.
Nice.
And then I see DeMarco's asking about the V-copter. Yeah, I suspect that one's going to be a wait.
Josh, did you get your V-copter in yet?
I did not. No. I'm going to wait until Brian from True Drone Reviews takes a look at it first.
Right, he's got it on order. Yep,
he does. And if worse comes to worse, maybe you'll let me borrow it.
Well, you
keep it for another year.
You should meet him at you should meet him at the golf course when he gets it, and you give a drag race between the Zino 2 and the V-copter.
Oh, I totally agree. Oh, it'd be great. He told me. I told him before. I said you can borrow my Zino 2 anytime you want. He said no, I'll just watch you fly it. I said okay. He does want to see it though, so that's good. But so that'd be perfect. So we could go there. He could fly his V-copter, and I'll fly the Zino 2, and we'll do some races out there.
Of course, don't race them long distances. The V-copter flies for 50 minutes or something on one battery. On a long term race, you'll run out of gas.
Something tells me that the transmitter itself might die before the quadcopter does.
And Marcus had to handle that high quality transmitter at the CES, I believe, right?
I'll tell you, if you think the original Zino's transmitter was toy grade, wait till you pick up that one for the V-copter.
So it's no DJI smart controller, right?
Well, we'll see. I mean, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, they're just, even at CES, they did not have an operating copy of one. So, gosh, if they weren't able to even show one there, it makes you think that there's there's more development to do. I think it's an interesting idea, and there's that company evidently is fairly ambitious in what they want to do with it. I suspect in practice it's more difficult than what you think. And I would say, listen, if that was a viable concept, I would expect that a company like DJI might have had something like that out some time ago. And that's just me speculating. I what do I know? But high hopes. I mean, I hope it's everything they say it is.
I agree with you, Marcus, for sure. I really hope that that turns out to be an awesome quad. I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool concept, and I found myself kind of looking at that website quite a bit. Kind of pondering that $100 deposit. And I don't know, but no, I haven't done it, and I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger on it at all. But I think it's really cool, and I'm really interested to see someone actually have it and give us a review on it. Oh, sorry, Ron.
Josh, do you have the Evo 1?
No, I don't.
Are you tempted by the Evo 2 at all?
It looks really cool, but as at this point, no. At this point, I'm not. I just don't have an interest. I just don't think I need it at this point. I think the 8K camera is really cool, but I don't. The shadow that I use can edit 8K video, but I don't think even YouTube can handle 8K yet. Can they? Or can they?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, they
I didn't
can.
know that. Okay.
Somebody did tell me about that.
Can your internet company handle 8K downloads?
Probably not. Comcast isn't the best. Sorry about that, Comcast, but you're not. So
yeah. If you're listening, I second that emotion. Of course I'm an East Coast Comcast customer, just like Josh. So anyways,
can I throw one more aspect of that in there, Ron?
You go right ahead, Marcus.
One of the reasons that I am not going to be spending a bunch of money on any new drone that comes out is I want to know what the new FAA rules are going to be before I drop that, drop another $1,500 on a new drone. So
Lawrence says most people are waiting for the Evo 2 Pro, which of course will probably be the last one we see.
That's the 6K with the 1-inch sensor on it. So
that's the one Bill and I are pre-ordering.
Yeah, for what that's I think $18.99 or $17.99.
Yeah, and we'll put our pre-order in. Who knows? We may have it by Christmas.
Well, it may come before the Zino 2.
Ooh.
Well,
Bill and
I both I think threw around the idea. Well, we should just cancel our Zino 2 order, use that as a down payment on the Evo 2. But again, you can't get the Evo 2 either, so that scraps that idea.
So you're missing what you can get is the original Evo as a refurb for $599, right?
Right, which probably would beat most of the drones we're talking about here.
It would. I'm just telling you, $599 for that Evo. Holy mackerel!
Marcus, where's that at?
B&H had it. I don't
really
know
for one day.
Huh. Or was it just one day?
It was 1 day sale, yeah. But who knows? I mean, I'm sure that's a forerunner of price cuts coming as soon as if the Evo 2 ever gets itself out the door. I'm sure you'll see that again. Price again once Evo 2 can finally get itself on the store shelves at Best Buy. Well, that's the thing about the Evo that would tempt you and I. It wouldn't be any massive wait where you could just go in your local Best Buy, pick it right off the shelf, and you're flying it the same day. You know that feeling too, right? Where you just get the drone that day and you're flying it.
Pick it up, plug it in. Hour later, you're up in the air.
Yep, up in the air. Yep. None of this on a slow boat from China and dreaming about flying these drones for months at a time.
I was reading something, okay, and there was over the weekend about odds. There was a baby born on the 29th, and one of the parents was born on a leap year too. And they said the odds of that, they calculated the odds were like 2.1 million to 1 for something like that happening. And I think the odds of us getting our Zino 2s
Which
Hey,
won't be a leap year.
I,
It won't be.
I just looked on B&H just to see, Ron,
Yes.
and they are showing that the refurb on their website is discontinued. So clearly they sold out of every one that they have, and so it's just not available as a refurb anymore.
I was tempted that day to cancel the Zino 2 order and just get and put another $200 down and get a probably twice this drone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I don't know how I missed that. I have no idea how I missed that.
Well, I saw.
What day was that?
I think Drone DJ. I think again. I know a lot of people don't like Drone DJ, so I hate to keep pumping their articles, but I think I saw it on Drone DJ.
Wow, that's a hell of a deal. I mean, huge.
Totally agree. That would have been a good one to catch for sure.
Oh yeah, I know Brian. He loves his Evo.
But the Zino 2, like I said, I ordered my FIMI X8 SE in December, and I got it in May. So if the Zino 2 is here, I ordered my Zino 2 in the middle of December. If I get it in March, hey, that's 2 months ahead of what the FIMI X8 was.
Yeah, it's beating the FIMI X8. Yep, it sure is.
Yeah,
that's true. It's still showing in stock on Hubsan's website. I mean, you can order it right now. They said March 30th, I believe, is when it would ship. At least according to the little estimated thing down at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
That ties what Bill told us earlier.
Yeah. Right. Well, make sure, and this is an important thing. A lot of people will go out to the Hubsan US site. Don't go out to the US site. You got to go out to Hubsan.com. You go out to HubsanUS.com. It shows it's out of stock. So you got to go to Hubsan.com, not HubsanUS.com.
You got to know how to navigate these sites. Hey, before we get going here, and I forget to mention this, I want to highlight a couple shows coming on this week. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune in for Bill the Drone Reviewer episode, whatever. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's probably some good guests coming on there tomorrow night. Do you know of any good guests coming on, Bill?
Well, I know Ron and Marcus will be on tomorrow night.
There you go.
That's pretty good. We're gonna get Josh back on after he's got a couple of good flights on the Zino 2 under his belt, so we can dissect that. We're gonna talk about this magnificent bird tomorrow night, the magnificent Mavic Mini. Okay, MMM. How about that? The alliteration there. We're also going to talk about the Zino 2 tomorrow night, and we're also going to have kind of like, and I know Ron loves the questions and answers like this. We're going to talk about the Mavic Air 2. What would we like to see on the Mavic Air 2? Because I know Lauren has told us, we can expect it in April or May. What would we like to see on it? So come in and stay tuned tomorrow night. We're going to have a great show. It'll be a lot of great discussion, and we're going to talk a lot. We're going to talk about this bird tomorrow night.
And Bill, maybe if you're lucky, I'll show you my new Phantom I just received in.
Yes.
Now everybody's excited. It's not the Phantom 5. I got the Phantom 2 Vision Plus in.
Oh.
And maybe I'll get it fired up and working tomorrow, but we'll see. And then Wednesday night, don't forget 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Coast to Coast Drones with Bill Thomas, John Coopy. I think Ethan's still on the road, but we'll have a guest, and we're going to talk about software for drones and video and stuff like that, editing software. So whatever your favorite editing software to do your videos on, hopefully we'll talk about it on Wednesday night. So please join us. I'll be on there. Again, the crew I just mentioned. And I think Ken Donovan said today that he's going to be on the road tomorrow, so he won't be doing his Wednesday show. And, of course, we got Ken Heron on Thursdays. And on Mondays, right before ZinoNation 8 o'clock, tune in to the Grumpy Vlogger at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's usually got Mel for an AGL on with him. They do a good show in there, and then we come on. So anyhow, that's all the programming notes I have for the week.
Hey, Ron, I've got a question for our panel here.
Yes.
and I'm sure we'll talk about it more tomorrow night on Rotor Talk Live. But with regard to the Mavic Air 2, what price point would it have to be for you guys to pull the trigger, Ron?
It would have to be, even if it had the specs I wanted, if it was spec'd out the way I wanted, would have to be under $899.
Yeah,
I'm going to agree with Ron, 100%. I got to see $899 or less on that.
I also have to agree with Ron on that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anywhere between $800 to $900, 900 max, 900 or lower. Done.
I mean, for a quick, I don't want to go in too long. For a quick thing here, I just saw today on DJI's website. It's not in stock now, but if it wasn't in stock, you could get a Mavic 2 Zoom for $1,079. So if the Mavic Air 2 was $1,000 and I could get the Mavic 2 Zoom for only $79 more, why would I do that?
Exactly.
Well, we don't know what the Mavic 2 is going to have yet, but
do you think it could possibly be a better drone than the Mavic 2?
Well, we don't know.
But we'll know tomorrow night.
We don't know the features, but I'm going to say this: you guys have richer taste than I do. I was going to say $799, but anyway.
Well, no, I like that, Marcus. I like that. I like that.
There's a question in the chat. Is that the Fly More? I'm assuming they're talking about when we were talking about the Mavic Air 2 in terms of the price.
Yes, I definitely. It's got to be, and this is something we'll get into tomorrow night, but suffice it to say, in order for that drone to sell and to sell well, it's got to be under 1,000 USD for the Fly More. It has to be. It's a must. Especially
with the lower prices on the high end. Zino 2 Pro and Phantom 4 Pro V2O. I mean, if you're paying, why wouldn't you? If you were really into drones or really needed a professional quality drone, why wouldn't you spend the $500 more and get something that's obviously a step up? You see, DeMarco just got 2 RC boats or whatever. I only got 1 RC boat, so it got me beat already. And I found Josh's question here. Yeah, I didn't even think Fly More, but. Oh, well, okay. I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. We had a great group in, a lot of great questions for Josh, especially Stephen Ewing. He gets the ZinoNation award for best questions tonight. He put the pressure on Josh, but Josh, he stood in there like a heavyweight champ and deflected them all or whatever. I think Josh should be in one of these political debates. I bet you he could win. I bet you he could take the state of PA in the next election.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with politics.
Okay, you're a wise man. but anyhow, I want to thank you so much for coming to the show and kind of helping relieve some of the worries of the Zino 2, because I know it's early days, but is it fair to say your early experiences with the Zino 2 have been very positive? Would that be a fair assessment?
It is, absolutely. Yeah, there is so far from everything that I've experienced, from the update process to, from the unboxing to the update process to the initial startup to one small flight. I've had no problems. There's no problems whatsoever that I've experienced yet. There could be. I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen later on. But as of right now, absolutely, I can say that I've had a flawless experience. It came quick too. I apologize because I know a lot of people are waiting for that.
Rub it in.
Well, I'm sorry, but I have to point this out. I got the shipping notification on Sunday. It arrived on a Wednesday.
It's the quickest Zino 2 shipment in recorded history.
I don't know what happened. That I've never had anything come that quick except from DJI ever. I just want to point that out. Yep.
Let's make sure Josh did not want to rub it in, but it's almost like he was petting his Zino 2 in front of the two of us, and we're all like, oh.
Hey, Josh, when we get our Zino 2, the Zino 3 will get announced the next week.
And Josh will have his before we do.
No. Look, I just got lucky. I got super lucky. It was the right time, the right moment. I don't know what it was that said I needed another one. I just figured I'd try it, and sure enough, it got here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened. guess I got some Zino angels looking out for me, you know.
So Ron is suggesting the Zino 3. I think he's wrong. It's going to be the Zino 2 Pro first.
Oh
I
yeah.
stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
And can I touch upon that real quick?
Yeah.
So when you do get the Zino 2, you're gonna see this black piece of plastic right here in the front. It obviously is not any type of obstacle avoidance or anything like that, but you can tell it's a placeholder for something for this shell. So to kind of touch upon that, I feel like there could very well be a Hubsan, Zino 2 Pro, and I feel like they're definitely going to do something with this because again, just a piece of plastic.
And it'll be announced the day after Bill, the drone reviewer, receives his Zino 2.
The Phoebe X8 had the same thing. Remember that little?
And we're still waiting for the Phoebe X8 Pro.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, it had that same little piece up there, and everybody was saying, well, they're going to put obstacle avoidance on there one of these days. So I don't know.
You make a point. Absolutely. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. It just seems too odd. I mean, why would you put a little placeholder in there if you weren't going to do something with it later? I mean, you could have just made it a solid piece of, plastic like they did on the original Zino. But
right.
Who knows? But again, we want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, and we'll get you back on again maybe when you get some resolution on your Power Egg X drone. When you get it back and you get it flying well, and you can give us a good ending to that story, and of course get you back on. And Bill wants you on when you get a little more hands-on time with the Zino 2. I know you'll be doing some flight test videos, and of course everybody wants to see the video quality tests or whatever. And I know you. I'm in New Jersey now, but I'm from PA, so I know the weather you're dealing with. It's safe. Bill could tell everybody where the air in PA where we live. Forget the spring or whatever. It's where I live. It's not good until the middle of April or whatever. So it really starts to warm up. Is that true, Josh, from where you live?
I mean, for the most part, today, for example, was I think like 52 or 53 degrees, which to me is awesome. I mean,
we had
absolutely
that too,
phenomenal.
With 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
The wind wasn't too bad, but it rained today. The morning was good, and it seems like it's always the morning's really good during the week anyhow. And I got to wake up early. I go to work. I look outside. It's beautiful outside, and I said, "Why am I here? I need to go fly." And then by the time 4 o'clock rolls around, because that's my quitting time, it's like pouring down rain. So it's just a story of my life, I guess.
And a reminder for all those drone flyers, the daylight saving time is this weekend. So we're going to get an hour more of light at evening to fly, starting next Sunday night. So it'll be a good week to fly, Bill.
That's right. It will be a good week to fly. I want to throw in just a side note for my closing notes tonight. Really enjoyed having Josh on. He's phenomenal. Subscribe to it. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, you owe it to yourself to do so. Josh cuts out some great videos. So really, really, really subscribe to his channel. Take a look at him. He does a great job. Absolutely fantastic. One of the things that I wanted to mention is, a lot of the thoughts in our country and around the world go about the coronavirus. In the county that I live in, there's been a confirmed case of the coronavirus, and we need to keep all these people in our thoughts and prayers first and foremost. And regardless of political affiliation or how you feel, this is something that's epic and not in a good way. And we need to come together as a nation, as a world, to fight this and to wipe this out and to make it safe for people. The numbers are increasing in some areas, and we're taking the precautions. Both my wife and I, we have some plans in place should things to get to be where we can shelter in place if we have to. And of course, down here in Florida, we're kind of used to that because during hurricane season, we stock up on things like water and some canned goods and things like that in case we don't have ability to have heated food. But nevertheless, let's keep all those who have been affected by this in our thoughts and prayers. Pray that it doesn't spread any more than it is, that the impact will be minimal to people. and that, it's basic. Okay. And I do know this, wash your hands, don't touch, don't bring your hands up to your face, to your eyes, to your ears, to your mouth, to your nose. Okay. Practice good habits, and if you're sick, don't go to work. It's real simple here. And also, they're also urging people to not go to the emergency room, but to call the health department first if you think you have it, and then they'll advise you as to what to do. So before you even consider either going to an emergency room or to your doctor's office. So do that, and be wary of that, and be mindful of your surroundings and everything. And like I said, let's keep everyone in our thoughts and prayers that have been affected by this. Let's pray it doesn't spread wider than it will, and that there can be eventually be a vaccine for something like this. So I'm sorry to go on my soapbox, and look forward to seeing Ron and Marcus and I on tomorrow night. We got a lot of great things to talk about. Thank you, Bill. Marcus, you have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, looking forward to Rotor Talk Live tomorrow, and just get out there and fly drones and have fun. Like I said, this is our last opportunity to comment on the FAA proposed FAA regulations. So please go out there on the Federal Register and get that done. The more people they hear from, the more chance we'll get to probably stem that tide. And you know what? Most of all, fly drones, have fun. Oh, I wanted to give another shout out to Blue Skyber. Watch his last video, because he really does make a critical point about that controller. Anybody that's ordered the Zino 2 or is thinking about the Zino 2, you need to watch his video, because he's got some really good information. And Josh, I so appreciate you coming on tonight. You are your word is golden, and you're a trusted reviewer. And when you did your unboxing, it's just very level-headed and matter of fact, and gives out all the information, and that's the kind of thing I appreciate, and I know these other guys do too.
Thank you, Marcus. Great words. And I just want to ditto everything Bill said about the coronavirus, and just send prayers out for everybody that's that has had it, or got over it, and condolences for the people who have lost loved ones already. And Josh, I believe you were going to say something.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you were right ahead.
I just wanted to thank you guys very much for the kind comments, and I was trying to reply to some really kind comments in the chat as well, and I really appreciate all those. I did this just for fun, and to think that that people actually. I mean, I have over 300 subscribers, which to me, like when I first started this, I never ever thought I'd get. To think that 300 people really want to actually watch and partake in the content that I put out is huge, and that just really makes me want to up my game, and I will forever just tell it as I personally see it. I will never, I'll never lie for any reason at all. As it happens, I want to film it and record it as it happens.
Yeah, there are some. Listen, Josh. Everybody knows you're not just in it. You're not just shelling stuff for the get the affiliate links or whatever. You're legit.
I try to do my best. I really do. And it humbles me to think that there's a lot of people that really do watch it, and they enjoy it too. And I really appreciate that. So I appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody watching. I couldn't thank you, Ron, and Marcus, for having me on the show, and Bill as well for everything too. You guys have always been such a big help for me. Just starting out here, it's just over just about a year now since I started my channel.
Josh, you made you had a great show tonight. You really made the show tonight. Thanks for coming on. I want to shout out another great channel. L3 Toys has joined us. L3 Toys has been doing a bang up job reviewing the Zino 2 down there in Malaysia someplace. Or did I get that right, Marcus?
Yeah, it's in Malaysia.
Yeah, he lives in a beautiful area of Malaysia. He's been doing a bang up job on the early reviews. So, and he's even taking he's even stepping out of his comfort zone and speaking English in the videos now too. So I got to commend him on that. So again, I'm going to thank everybody for being here tonight. Everybody in the chat, you guys were great tonight, and be back next week for ZinoNation episode 46. I'm sure it'll be another exciting show. So good night, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow night.